I can still hear my mother's voice, brittle and casual, as if nothing had happened. "Why didn't you come to the airport yesterday, sweetie?" Yesterday. She said it so easily, as if the day she ripped my trust apart was just another date on the calendar, as if stranding me was an accident, as if I didn't matter enough to check. But I know better. They lied to me, on purpose. I remember the sting in my throat when I called, standing in the terminal with my suitcase at my feet, staring at the empty gate. "Where are you guys?" And her voice, without a shred of guilt, "We're in Honolulu." That was the day I realized. My parents weren't just careless. They wanted me left behind. It wasn't always like this. Growing up, I believed they were the type of parents who showed up. Birthday cakes, report cards pinned to the fridge, family vacations. I was the obedient one, the reliable one. I studied hard, kept quiet, followed rules. But love, I've learned, is a currency. And in my family, my worth was less than the shine of their favorites. My younger brother could fail classes, throw tantrums, wreck cars, and they'd laugh it off. Me? One missed curfew was treated like betrayal. I told myself they loved me in their way. I believed it, until Hawaii. The pieces fell into place later when I checked my email. The itinerary they had sent me had the wrong date, 1 day later. A perfect forgery. One wrong number typed in the time field. Too precise to be an accident. They wanted the trip without me. They wanted freedom from the child who reminded them of their own failures. And in that single moment, standing in my empty apartment as their vacation photos bloomed on social media, smiling faces against palm trees and blue water, I stopped being their child. I became their reckoning. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't beg for explanations. Instead, I thought, if they could erase me from their memory so easily, I would erase something they valued more than me. Not out of rage, but balance. Justice delivered in silence. I watched, I listened. My father's business accounts, my mother's endless need for validation online, my brother's habits, reckless spending, hidden credit cards. They all had weak spots. I just had to press them, one by one, until they broke. First, my father. He ran his small consultancy firm like a king in a crumbling castle. Sloppy bookkeeping, unpaid taxes, misplaced trust in the wrong friends. I quietly gathered receipts, late filings, fraudulent write-offs. I packaged them into a neat folder and sent it, anonymously, to the IRS. Then my mother. She lived for appearances. I knew her passwords. She never imagined I'd use them. I downloaded every direct message, every little flirtation with men who weren't my father. Then I waited. On their anniversary, while they toasted in a restaurant, my father's phone buzzed with an anonymous file transfer. Every word, every photo. He didn't say a word that night, but 2 weeks later, their arguments bled through the walls. My brother was easier. He thought he was clever, hiding debt with a prepaid card. I tipped off his lender that he had no intention of paying. They froze his account. His car, his pride, was repossessed on the street while his friends watched. One by one, their facades cracked. And I remained silent, the dutiful daughter, listening, smiling, pretending. When they returned from Hawaii, sunburnt and smug, they expected me to sulk, to cling, to demand explanations. Instead, I met them at the airport with a smile. "How was it?" I asked. "Wonderful," my mother said, her eyes darting, as if searching for signs of resentment. I gave her none. That was my power. They didn't know I had already lit the fuse. Weeks passed. My father's business account was audited. My mother's reputation in her social circle disintegrated overnight, whispers about her indiscretions spreading like wildfire. My brother begged them for help, but they were too consumed by their own collapse. Finally, the night came when we sat at the dinner table together, the silence heavier than the food on our plates. My father's hands shook as he cut his meat. My mother avoided my gaze. My brother muttered curses under his breath. I set down my fork, looked at them each in turn. "You remember Hawaii?" I said softly. They froze. I leaned back, my voice steady, calm, deliberate. "You left me behind, lied to me. Do you know what that did?" No one spoke. I smiled then, cold, certain. It made me realize you were nothing more than people. Flawed, weak, cruel. And people can be broken. Their faces drained. They didn't need me to explain further. Somewhere, deep inside, they already suspected. And in that silence, the power shifted forever. I didn't scream at them. I didn't demand apologies. I didn't need to. Their lives unraveled without my fingerprints anywhere visible. My father's business collapsed within the year. My mother moved out, desperate to salvage her reputation. My brother drifted,